That's not gonna work very well. Nothing says class like drinking wine out of a straw. I still got it on my lips. Okay, well, hi, if you don't know who I am, my name is Liam and I'm here to distract you from life. And today we are talking about RuPaul's Drag Race episode 10, Makeover Crew Better Work. I can't, look, you can't see that, but it's like cut off and I can't, Makeover's Crew Better Work. Let's go with that. Okay, so let's talk about Nina for a minute because I know a lot of you guys love Nina and in some of my videos, I'm a little bit harsh on Nina and I know a lot of you guys are big fans of her and I want to spend a little bit of time seriously talking about Nina. So here's the thing, let's try and just talk through this situation. Okay, so this whole opening sequence is basically about how there's a therapy session going on again for Nina. And all right, so what do we know about Nina? We know that Nina has been trying for RuPaul's Drag Race for years. And then she finally got into RuPaul's Drag Race, but this was kind of the final year that she was going to try out for RuPaul's Drag Race. And it was, I don't know if I'm right about this, and you can totally tell me if I'm wrong, so please let me know if I'm wrong about this. But from what I remember in the Untucked eons ago, she said that if she didn't get into RuPaul's Drag Race, that was it for her. And I personally felt like she was going through such a deep depression at the time. She had had a lot of run-ins with suicidal thoughts, so it was done for her in that kind of sense. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to be underly sensitive, but that's kind of the impression that I got from all that. And I feel like that is a lot of expectation to put on a TV show. And in her mind, she probably had this big idea of what RuPaul's Drag Race was going to be for her. And perhaps she's come into this show where this was like the pinnacle of her life that she needed to get to, and it was going to be her saving grace. And she's gotten to this point, and maybe it's not what she expected it to be. And it's actually thrown her into a deeper depression to the point where I've had these thoughts myself where it's like, what is the point? And maybe that's what has happened to her here. And that's why this has been such a struggle for her. I don't know, let me know your thoughts about that, but that's kind of what I've been thinking recently. And with that, I sympathize with Nina because she was expecting something to save her from herself and it hasn't happened. And that is a very terrifying thought for anyone to have. So, I mean, if we separate all of those emotions from something that is coming from a very negative place and look at Nina as who she is, we see someone who's very creative, that's very unique, that brings a lot to the drag community that we haven't seen before. So if we just look at that, we kind of look at Nina and go, wow, you are a big deal. And I think that that's what Ru sees in her. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about Nina until the end because we know what happens to Nina in this episode. Anyway, hey guys, I know it's a little bit darker now. It always gets a bit darker because I film these episodes so late in the day, but I wanna remind you that there's a like button that is still gray down here. Would you please change that blue for me? Thank you so much. Back to the video. So when I heard about this challenge, which by the way, I don't read anything before episodes. I like to be really surprised about everything in this show. So when Ru said you're gonna be making over the crew, I really thought in my mind, this is such an afterthought because in a lot of the other episodes we've seen, a lot of the other seasons we've seen things where they've done up their mothers or they've done, you know, things that take a lot more planning. And this I kind of thought, oh shit, they forgot to do a makeup episode. So they're gonna look around for something to make up and oh, who's there? The crew, so we'll do this. But I have to say, this was one of my favorite episodes in the whole RuPaul's Drag Race series. This was so much fun. So I want to talk about the crew just a little bit because they were a bunch of really fun guys. First of all, Rizzo is hot as and I beep those words, but you know what I'm saying. Rizzo has the body that I have always wanted to have. It's slim and it goes straight down. Do you know what my body looks like? Oh shit. It looks like a pear. I have the hips the size of women bearing children. Wait, childbearing hips. I have a cinched waist and I have a bigger chest and it's just a mess. And he just goes straight down and I just am so jealous of that body type. The face though, when he went up in drag, it just got very sharp, very quick, but still such a trooper. I loved all of these guys. Also, the other PA, Josh. Let's talk about Josh for a minute. When RuPaul hires his PAs or whoever hires the PA, on the resume, does it have to say hot as, like seriously? Because those two were on fire. And Duncan? Okay, so Duncan had this air about him, which was very like serious, but we got to know that he was such a lovely guy.
Feels good, bro.
So when Ru was talking to him in the workroom, and then we found out that, I'm guessing, you know, we were kind of allured to the fact that his son was queer, in whatever sense that was. And for him to be here being such a sport and doing this is just, it's inspirational to not only other parents out there, but it's inspirational to just the general younger community of queer kids that are coming out these days. Stop falling. So Duncan to me just seems like a wonderful, lovely guy. Also, Sarge, what a sweetheart. Just all of these guys were just amazing. They were just awesome, guys. So if you didn't watch the Untucked, so when they were picking the people for this, we noticed that when Trinity got Rizzo, there was kind of this mutual understanding that Rizzo was gonna go with Trinity. And if you didn't watch the Untucked, we find out that Trinity has had a crush on Rizzo throughout this whole production. So if you were wondering why everyone went Rizzo, that's because it seems like behind the scenes there has been this ongoing joke. Anyway, that's fine. I think anyway, maybe I could just be speculating. So back to Nina a little bit. So now there are 3 episodes left, and you have decided that now is the time to sew not 1, but 2 garments? I mean, even she in the little interview room after this whole thing was over knew that that was a terrible idea. I mean, thinking about how much time she would have wasted doing that. I mean, she could have had a contact. Like, Ross was so right about her look. The top half wasn't really executed great but then it didn't really connect with the bottom half either. And I understand what she was doing because she needed to show that this was her sister. So Michelle had a problem with her having the same shape and the boobs and the cinched waist and all that stuff, but that's her look. So if there's ever a time to not critique that someone's doing the same thing every single episode, it's this one, because they need to show their style in this episode. That's literally what they're supposed to do. So I very disagreed with that. But I think she needed to take it a step further. She needed to have white gloves if she had those. I mean, that's really a tall order. A cottontail, it needed to be more bunny than just the face. And oh my God, in some cases we got really close to that bunny shape. That was just really bad drawing and everything. Nina had given up at this point. She had to rush, obviously, because I think she lost a lot of time. It was just a lot. The dynamic between Rizzo and Trinity in this episode was so funny. If I didn't watch the Untucked and I didn't realize that Trinity's had a crush on Rizzo throughout all this, I would not have known this, because Trinity was all Betty business during this. She was down she was gonna rip his clothes off and tuck that hit herself, which she kind of did anyway. But she was ready to win this, and she was not playing around. She was not playing around with any of her emotions whatsoever. She was getting in there no matter who it was, and she was gonna make it work. And Trinity, I consistently underestimated Trinity. When I first saw her, I was like, filler, she's a filler, right? And that she's here to win it, honey. And this is just a complete side note, but Sasha looks gorgeous in this black gown. When she's teaching Duncan how to walk, stunning. I love Sasha. Kesha. Well, we haven't seen Kesha in ages. She went through a whole horrific debacle about 4 years ago. I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago. Maybe it wasn't that long. This is the first time we've seen Kesha in ages. And the look on her face while she was here, she just, to me, seemed like she was so calm there. And she just felt like she was in this fantasy land where she could just chill out and be herself and watch some amazing performances. And I feel like she hasn't felt like that in a long time. And I just wanted to, I love Kesha so much. And I just was so happy to see her there and so comfortable and so calm. It was lovely. So let's talk about Shea for just a minute. And so you guys know how much I love Shea. And this episode, she was the weakest. And it's just, I think it was because the look wasn't really Shea, was it? In my personal opinion, it was just, the hair was very Shea on both of them, on Bae and her. But the dress, I don't think I really quite recall Shea ever dressing like that. I mean, if there was ever a time for her to come out in a swimsuit and a jacket, I think now was the time. And it just, I don't know, I kind of missed, it was just, and also Bae was kind of a little bit loose and broken with the bra and everything. I think Shea definitely deserved to be in the bottom 2. Michelle and Ross had a really big issue with Alexis's outfit, and you guys know that I am not the biggest fan of Alexis just because of some of her attitudes during this whole season, but this outfit of hers that she had was not bad. I mean, I guess it was maybe a little basic, but if we look down there a little bit, Peppermint's was just one of her outfits that didn't match each other on another. I just kind of think that Peppermint wasn't very good at all. I think her partner did a fantastic job, and that's why she was kind of safe. But compared to Alexis's sister look, I just felt like they were really going hard on Alexis this time. I don't think she was that bad. And also the performance wasn't that bad. Oh my gosh, when her partner did that facial expression was amazing. But I mean, Alexis's sister her makeup was amazing. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Her hair was amazing. She looked really good. I just think that it was a little bit harsh to say that she was basic, especially that she made it herself, which the judges, I guess, didn't know that at the time. But I just think that she wasn't that bad. And that comes from a really serious place, because you guys know how much I'm kind of grumpy with Alexis. I mean, all I can say about Sasha and Duncan is they looked amazing. From this episode, I kind of started to think maybe Sasha's gonna win this, because I mean, I've always thought that, you know, that Shea was gonna win this, but just Sasha's been consistently good every episode toward the end here, and she's growing really well as well. I mean, to think that Sasha might take this crown all of a sudden is very astonishing to me. I really want Shea to win, but I really want Sasha to win as well. So, I mean, if either of them win, I'm gonna be happy, but I was always thinking that this was the Shea show, and now I'm thinking maybe it's the Sasha show. I don't know, it's pretty neck and neck at this point. Because am I wrong in saying that now Sasha's the only one in this competition that hasn't been in the bottom two? Is that right? The time with Wintergreen, that was her name, I just remembered. The time with Wintergreen where she was doing her facial expressions to Kesha, I laughed. My mum and my sister and I were just having a great old cackle to that. That was, it just, in this episode, like this moment just made me feel like these people have been a part of this show for so long that they're like part of the family of that we don't see. We don't see these people, and they see them every day when they come in to shoot this. And it's just like this moment where they're laughing at each other at this, and Ru is so in love with these men that are on this stage. It just felt like this is we as the viewer were being let into a world of this friendship group that they've had that we've never experienced before. That's why I think this episode was so amazing. So the bottom two were Shea and Nina. And okay, so I love Shea, and you guys know I love Shea, but I didn't hate that she was in the bottom two because I'll tell you why. And that's not coming from a place where I say I think she was deserving to be in the bottom two, because, you know, she was. But what I'm getting at here is that so we have never really had a case where someone has been so obviously going to win this and they've been in the bottom two. I don't quite remember a situation where there's been anyone that is going to win, like say Bianca, or I don't think Bob was ever in the bottom two. Was she? I don't quite recall. Maybe. But I just felt like, okay, Shea's in the bottom two. We know she's amazing. And now we get to see her lip sync and really give it. And that's why I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm ready for this. To see her perform in such a way where it wasn't kind of like really over the top, but it was really, watching her, to me, I was just like, this is a star. This is a really strong queen. And it just, I mean, I was kind of expecting a death drop here, which didn't quite come. And I kind of think by the look on Ru's face, he was expecting that as well, or she was expecting that as well. But it was just, I was just very excited to see Shea lip sync, because we don't get that opportunity much to see the strongest one lip sync. So now that Nina has been eliminated and has gone home, I'm a little bit worried about Nina, because I do like Nina. Don't get me wrong. I was very grumpy with Nina throughout this whole season, but I'm very concerned about Nina and what her mental state is going to be like after this show. I don't know, some of you guys have been following Nina on social networks a bit more than I have, so some of you guys will know more so than I will about this, but I think she's someone who might need to be kept an eye on. I'm a little worried. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a very fun episode. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, I am now doing a live stream on Twitch, and there is a link in the description that you can go to, and you can follow that and be ready for that. And you can also go to the Discord chat, where people are making friends in this Discord chat, which is not something that I was expecting. A lot of you guys who have joined this are like having a conversation with her and making friends, which is really amazing to me. Anyway, if you'd like to be a part of that, go to the link in the description. There is a Discord chat link. Oh, I'm so gassy all of a sudden. Probably this little guy. And if you join that, you can come on Saturdays and have a chitty chat with me, and I would really love if you did that. I think I need to plan those live streams a little better, because I was planning on just doing Animal Crossing video, like playing Animal Crossing during those live streams, but it hasn't really been like working very well. There's not really too much content during there, so I think I'm gonna download maybe a game from Steam and like start playing through that game on the live streams. I don't know. But really, the main thing about those live streams is getting to know you guys and chatting with you, and also asking you about what kind of content you want to see from me on Wednesdays. Which brings me to my next point. So I'm thinking this Wednesday, I'm going to do a video on some of my favorite iPhone apps at the moment, because I have 3 games that I'm playing that I'm really enjoying that I want to talk to you about. And that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing this Wednesday. But if you have any suggestions on what kind of videos you want me to do this Wednesday, please let me know. Anything pop culture related that you might want my views on, that'd be really cool. So let me know. And also, usually at this part of the video, I let you guys know that I'm looking for a drag race in the Sydney area, but I have been contacted by an amazing queen. And I don't really want to tell you too much about who she is and things like that, just in case, you know, something happens, but I am thinking it's looking very promising, and I'm so excited because I am going to be done up in drag at the end of this season. It is happening. I'm gonna give her a call tomorrow, and we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna chat, and it's so exciting. So make sure to subscribe for that. And that brings me to my last point, which there, just below this video, video over here, there is a little button that is a little rectangle that says the word subscribe. If you hit that button, you'll be notified in your subscription feed every single time I upload a video. Isn't that amazing? And guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been such a pleasure, and I will see you guys on Wednesday or Saturday if you're just here for the RuPaul videos. Whew, I have talked up a storm, and I have got cotton mouth from this drink. Let me tell you, honey. If anyone ever wonders why I look up, it's because that's where my TV is, and that's where like my camera's plugged, and I like to make sure that I'm still recording and looking good. Anyway, guys, bye.